Well, today is a preliminary talk with the television cameras, the media, and I'm a candidate standing for the seat of Burleigh. But the issues that I'm standing for are not just isolated to Burleigh. The issues I'm standing for cover the whole state of Queensland. So let's go in and let's talk to the media and let's see whether they report all of these issues that we are concerned about.
Ray, really, why are you running?
Actually, I'm running because there's some issues that I'm very unhappy about, and the issues cover all of Queensland, not just Burleigh. I've seen the blatant lies that the Premier Bligh gave the public on water, on sewerage, on amalgamation of councils, on constitutional issues, and they were just so blatant that I've just got that angry that somebody has to speak up. Now, one of the main issues that I'm very unhappy about is that through our investigations, the Constitution of Queensland has been changed, it has been altered, and it's been altered without any authority from the people. How can a government run under a fake constitution that hasn't got the authority of the people, tell me?
I don't know.
Well, I've got a copy of it here with me, and it's called Act number 80 of the Constitution of Queensland 2001. But have a look at the wording here. It says, and for other purposes. Tell me, what's the other purposes? They can put anything they like in here anytime they like, not tell you, and do it with stealth and with deceit.
Now, what are the other issues in Burleigh, do you think? Just
Yeah.
in Burleigh Central?
Well, Burleigh people have got the same issues all over the place. I mean, we had a poll in the press that said 90% of Queenslanders did not want fluoride. You have a Premier Bligh from the Labor government said, well, you're going to have it whether you like it or not. But you've got to realise that all of the councils from here to Cairns wrote to the government and said they don't want fluoride. And the Gold Coast, the mayor here, Ron Clark, wrote to the state government and said they don't want fluoride. And did that stop her? No. They run a roughshod over the people, and I couldn't understand how they could do this with impunity when we're supposed to have a referendum for such issues.
So really, you're not happy with the fact that things are being rammed down people's throats, eh?
I'm very unhappy about the way the government, particularly the Labor government, just run roughshod over people, didn't give them the right of a democratic rights of a referendum, said to the people, you're going to get this whether you like it or not. The amalgamation of the councils, 85 councils in the state of Queensland were told that they had to amalgamate. 81 of these councils said, no, we don't want to. And did that stop her? No. They just ran roughshod and she said, well, you're going to get amalgamated whether you like it or not. This is not the democratic way, and these rights of a democracy have been thrown out of the Constitution. That's why they can do it with impunity.
Ray, what's your background?
My background, I've been here for 55 years. My first job was a waiter in the Broadbeach Leonard's Hotel. And after that, I was a waiter in the Southport Hotel before they pulled it down and they built Sundale. And I've been here in the tourism industry, marketing and promoting tourism for 35 years. I'm also knowledgeable in the marine survey business because I had marine survey business here back in the 60s and 70s. I'd like to add something here. We know that through Agenda 21, New World Order, they are going to reintroduce the idea of us drinking recycled sewage. Already again, the papers have shown a poll that over 93% of the people said no, they will never drink recycled sewage. Again, if the Labor government got in, they're going to ram it down our throat and give it to us whether we like it or not. And the people of Queensland have made it clear that they will not drink recycled sewage. But the other point about it is they've now brought in a new law that you can't drink your own tank water in your own backyard, when hundreds of little country towns in Queensland drink tank water. They've been drinking tank water for centuries. They don't get sick with tank water, they get sick with town water, with chemicals in it. Now this government wants to make sure that they get money out of you for all the water that you drink and sell you back your own water with poisons in it.
Fair enough.
Well, one of the things that I've realised today after listening to interviews from the Greens and several independents is the fact that they're all, just about all of them, are asking for a referendum before the fluoride is put into the town water or for the recycled sewage. They don't realise, none of them realise that the coverage of a referendum has been taken out of the Constitution. So the government, whether it be Labor or Liberal, can with impunity refuse to give the public a referendum on any of these issues. The other thing I've noticed from these candidates, they're not worried about the real issues of what every Queenslander is worried about, such as drinking recycled sewage water or drinking poison chemical water. They're worried about whether they can park the car at the hospital or something. And these are little peripherals. They're not issues that we should be worried in the government about. We've got to get into the government, and the only solution is for independents to take the balance of power away from the Labor and the Liberal. Otherwise, we'll never change the problems. The thing that I'm noticing here in the Burleigh district, the Labor government is so complacent or so smug or so confident that they will get back in, whilst the Liberal National Party have plenty of placards and signs around. There's not one for the Labor. And of course we've got our own, for myself as an independent, everywhere, and we've put up a lot of stickers and things. I've had probably 90% of the people agreeing with me on the issues that I'm trying to bring towards the government. And if I'm elected, I can ask questions of all of these people why they did not put a stop to the changing of the Constitution, why the Liberal and National Party didn't put a stop to them removing the right for referendums, why the Liberal National Party didn't put a stop to fluoridation being put into the waters, when every council just about from here to Cairns wrote to the government saying they reject fluoride, when 87% of the Queensland poll said they reject fluoride. Why hasn't the Liberal National Party now carried that issue back to the people and at least give them the right to have a referendum as to whether or not they want to keep fluoride in the water? But you see, they can do things with impunity now because there's no provision in the Constitution to have referendums anymore. Now, did you know that when it comes down to the water, did you know that the local council in the Gold Coast, right through up to Cairns, did you know that they all voted no to fluoride? You can go all the way down to Byron Bay. They also voted no to fluoride. Now, if your local councillors realise that it is a poison and they realise that we shouldn't have it in our drinking water, how is it that they had to capitulate under the authority of the state government, who was to push it in without our wishes, going against our wishes?
So what you're saying is that the state government doesn't care that there are negative side effects about fluoride?
Well, obviously the state government doesn't care, because we sent to the Premier and the Minister for Health, we sent a whole portfolio of something like 3,000 scientific published reports to prove that fluoride, for example, is bad for the thyroid gland. It accumulates in the pineal gland. It causes lower IQ in children. It causes osteoporosis and osteosarcoma. It does cause bones to be brittle, and yet we have these ministers and the Premier blatantly ignoring all of that technical data, ignoring all of that scientific data. And when it comes to the recycled sewage, our own professors, Professor Collignon and Professor Troy, both made it quite clear in the press that you could not have safe recycled sewage water, that it would transmit virus and diseases. And today in the newspaper, which I'll show you in a moment, there is now the superbugs in the water.